Okay, so first of all, let's just get right into it. I think that the Megan and Nicki Minaj, Megan the Stallion and Nicki Minaj beef is totally, totally fake. And I say that because they both have albums coming out now, and they're both looking to expand their careers and things. And to be quite frank, they were both starting to fall off. Aside from their traditional fans, like their diehard fans, like no one was really checking for them. And it's not to be rude, because, whatever, but because they do have talent. So I'm not being rude, but in that circle of fame and like likes and all this type of stuff, you are always in a realm of like staying relevant, because there are new female rappers every single day, every second, every minute. So to stay in people's forefront and at that level, you do have to engage in controversy. And, you know, when it comes to Hollywood and being at that certain level, like certain beings and people know that you're gonna have those days when you're up, and you're gonna have those days when you're on the other side of it. And so the smart thing to do is to take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves. So and so that's what I'm saying. I'm not judging, but I think it's manufactured, because with the beef arising, right? Let me tell you, okay, let me ask you this. I don't even really listen to them anymore, but I listened to part of Hiss and I listened to part of Bigfoot, which is quite interesting because they're both related to like animals and stuff. But more people are going to be paying attention to it now. It's going to get more reviews. They're going to make a lot more money with those songs now than they would have if they just dropped them and there was no beef involved. I definitely would not have listened to either one of them, I know personally, unless there was a beef involved. And now people are going to be more inclined to pay attention to what they're doing. So, I mean, it's a smart move, and they always do that kind of stuff. Like if you're starting to fall off and you're in that generation machine, they're like, that's not going to happen. So we're going to create something so that you stay relevant, or create something so that there's a specific storyline that comes to play, because now they're making like Nicki Minaj the villain, because she seems on this side to be unhinged at this point. And so they are creating a narrative of that. So I wonder if she was like about to expose something, or was she about to say something, and then they were like, you know what, no, we got to control this narrative and make people see her as this type of way, so that way when she says something later, we can discredit her. Because now the way that it's presented, she looks discredited. So people are not going to, the masses are not going to listen to her as much, and then her fans are going to support her extra hard because they feel like she needs them. Like, this is my chance to prove to her that I'm here, you know? And so that's a form of mind control, to be quite honest. Like, this is like, ain't nobody finna mess with my girl, okay? Period. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. This is just my perspective of the situation. And honestly, it kind of seems like they want people to feel sorry for Megan. But it's like, and I'm not going to go into anything else in regard to that. I'm sticking specifically to the situation. But it's like another situation where someone did something to her. And I'm going to be frank, if people keep doing stuff to you, what are you doing to other people? Okay? Like, what is going on? Because we only see what is in front. But how come, it just, and granted, I'm not judging her, but it seems like there's always some reason that something's going wrong for Megan, and then, something's always happening to her. Like, why? Is it the industry, like, just trying to portray her as someone who you should, have some sympathy for, or what? But And it's kind of interesting and contradictory, because in one hand, they're like trying to make us feel sorry for her. And then on the other hand, they're trying to turn her into some like real raunchy being. And at the end of the day, like, do what feels right, boo boo. You know, no judgment here. Do what you want to do what feels right. And at the same time, though, I do question it sometimes and be like, okay, what y'all doing over here? Because, so yeah, I just think it's fake. I think that it's a way to keep people entertained and distracted, because when when you are not in the place yet where you are ready to fix what's inside and deal with whatever traumas you're walking with, it's a lot easier to pay attention to what's going on, because you get distracted from your own reality, and it's like an escape. It's a way for you to leave whatever is going on in your life and feel like you're actually doing something. But really, you are likely just in the Hollywood maze and following whatever trend they set forth. And they do that, and it's so easy for them to do that because a lot of us are walking around with trauma, and like I said, it's easier to not face that, because who knows what happened to you? You know, who knows what you participated in, what you feel guilty for other than you. And so when you have so much of that and you're not releasing it and replacing it and letting it go, then it will start to eat at you. And you'll have to find other ways of coping because you're not healing here. But the thing is, that dopamine hit, or that hit of exhilaration or excitement, only lasts for so long. It's like you have to keep up, you keep doing it. And though you can change that, you can, one step at a time move in a different direction, and then you won't need to be entertained. You won't need to have an escape, because even if your physical environment is still in a, like, it still looks the same, your experience in it can be different. Your experience is different, and eventually the physical meets up. So all of us are like running this race, the human race. We're gonna dive into that one of these days. You know what? Let's look at right now. What does race mean? If you like this beat, by the way, I made it. Okay, internet's tripping right now, so we won't even go into that. But there's a way that you just kind of get like trapped up in that stuff, because there's always a race to the finish line. You got to get there. You got to win. But win at what? Win by whose determination? Because, like, I don't know if you watch Ashley Says So, but first of all, everybody should go watch Ashley Says So. But it shows you, like, what's going on behind the scenes. And then there's a book called, so Ashley Says So is a YouTube content creator. And, what's that? The book Full Service by Scotty Bowers. Now, read the rating on that book and make your decision. And I'm just going to explain to you at first, that book is very, very, very interesting. So you've been warned, okay? If you watch either one or you get the book, comment and let me know, because the Scotty Bowers book, I got to listen to that again, is absolutely insane. I will also warn you that if trauma in a certain way when it comes to the reproductive system is triggering for you, you be mindful of that when you listen to the book or when you read it. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, I think that, like, this is no reflection, also this beef, this is no reflection of Nicki Minaj as a human, as an actual who she is behind the scenes. And this is also no reflection of how Megan is behind the scenes. What we're seeing is a manufactured reality that the powers that were or be want us to see. We're not seeing what's actually happening. We're seeing what their story is. So if you're paying attention to the general story and like why Bigfoot and blah 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 blah, you're also potentially still reading into what they want. So, it's just good to be aware, so then you can decide, like, am I gonna think for myself, or am I gonna let someone else do it? And also, even if that's might not be exactly what it is, but it's a way to determine, like, wait a minute, do I have some healing to do? Because if I'm so emotionally enticed and wrapped around people's lives that literally don't even know I exist, and quite frankly probably don't care other than for a check, and I am so engaged in their lives, what am I not addressing in my own life that's unpleasant? What unpleasantries or painful memories that are you probably even thinking about right now because I'm mentioning it, am I, as you, what are we running from that this thing is so entertaining? You feel me? So I just think that was something to think about. Comment below, let me know what you thought. Like this video if you F with it. And I'll see you next time.